Hey, what's up everybody? Iron465 here with another video for you. Today I thought I'd really give you a history on like what my life was like and how I got into Transformers and stop animation and everything. So yeah, let's get started. How I got started was it was about the year 2000, I think. And it's like 4 or 5, and I was going into this one Goodwill in the VHS section because Goodwill is awesome for finding older stuff, and I liked finding older stuff because it was cool, like toys and stuff like that. Yeah, I was in the VHS department and I was looking around and I found this really old VHS from like the 80s that said Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, volumes 1, 2, and 3, like exclusive to ordering this and this and this. Of course I know what that was, I didn't know what that was then, but I know what it is now. But, yeah, I asked my mom what it was, and she said that my uncle used to watch it when he was a kid, and it was this old cartoon called Transformers, and I went home and watched it, and I was mesmerized. I thought it was like one of the coolest things I'd ever seen, and it was just basically about these two groups of robots fighting each other for this source of power called Energon to get back to their planet. They're having this war over it. But yeah, that happens. We flash forward like about 2 years. I'm in kindergarten and all these kids are like basically drooling over this cartoon called, I believe it was Transformers Cybertron at the time. And they had all these cool action figures, all the boys at least, and they were like, oh, this cartoon's awesome and everything. And, I don't know what it is. One of my friends had like a bunch of mini-cons from Armada, and he showed me them, and I didn't know what it was at the time, so I was like, oh, cool, and everything. And one day, again, I was going to Goodwill. A lot of these occurrences happened to Goodwill. And I was looking, and I found this weird thing that looked like the things that they had. It was a Transformer from, I think it was Optimal Optimus, like the Supreme Class version. I'm pissed at myself that I got rid of that because it was awesome and it was like, yeah, it was complete. So I'm just pissed that I got rid of that. Well, basically I had that and it transformed into an animal, and I didn't know about into the gorilla. Excuse me, sorry. But basically, it transformed into the gorilla and everything. I didn't know about the vehicle mode. I just kept it in the gorilla mode, and I took it to school. Since my friends didn't recognize Beast Wars, they were just like, oh, that's a complete ripoff. It's probably like a fake one. And I'm just like, whatever. So, I kept it and everything. And of course, eventually I sold it. We flash forward to about, I was about 6 at that time. So about 2 more years, I was spending the night at my grandparents' house, and we were going to see Night at the Museum because it was new at the time and it looked funny, which that movie is still freaking hilarious. Yeah. But we're watching the trailers, and I'm looking through, and I'm just watching these, and one comes up where, these space shuttles are going off and everything. And, yeah, and just a bunch of stuff is happening. And then at the very end, this little girl is by this pool, and this gigantic robot foot comes out, and it starts just, like, walking away. And then the screen, and, like, this really metallic and rusted-looking writing says Transformers. And then I instantly get memories of, like, of that. Also, my first Transformer, besides the Beast Wars ones from the actual, Unicron Trilogy line, was, actually, yeah, I think it was the Voyager Optimus. And I had that up until 8th grade, where I actually turned that into a custom for my teacher, because he liked Batman and he liked Transformers, so I turned it into Batimus Prime. It's actually a decent custom, It looked cool. Yeah, but anyways, back to the story. After getting out of the movie theater, I was so excited to call my cousin and tell him that, because he's still, like, really, really liked Transformers. I told him that. He's like, oh, I saw that trailer, like, a few weeks ago. But I was still really excited. It didn't come out for, like, what was it? Didn't come out for like another 2 or so years, or a year maybe, I don't remember, but like it finally came out and I was going to go see it with my parents. Unfortunately, Michael Bay made it. It focused too much on, like, I loved the first Transformers movie. It was awesome. The problem was it had too many sex jokes. It just focused way too much on the humans, not enough on the robots. Megatron didn't appear until the last 30 minutes. And Of course, I thought it was cool at the time because I didn't know much about the Transformers still. But my parents told me, I'm not going to let you buy that on DVD because, well, there were too many bad jokes and too much language in it. Of course, they were going to let me rent it, though. And when they rented it, when we were going to go rent it, it wasn't there. So we called my sister when she was out with her boyfriend one night and said, hey, could you check out this other Hollywood Video when those are still around to see if, any of these are... if they have any copies of these. Of course, there still wasn't. But my sister, being awesome, goes down to Fred Meyer and sees it for $20, and she just buys it, and my parents didn't make her pay her back and everything. Of course, I own it now, and my parents didn't say anything. I don't know why. But I watched it that night. It was awesome. Cut forward to, a year later. 2008, the trailer for Revenge of the Fallen was released. I go over to my best friend's, Connor Spike 22. This was about 6th grade, He showed me this collection of Transformers that he had from this line called Transformers Animated. And I'd seen the show a few times just because I liked the movie. I didn't really like it that much at the time. I love the show now. But he had a bunch of these figures, which I thought were really cool and everything. He's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this thing called stop motion. It's really cool. It's like claymation, but with action figures, he told me and everything. So I go over, and then he's like, oh yeah, I want to show you this. It's this little thing that he made. Or not that he made. He showed me this channel called Sean X Long, and he showed me the Shockwave stop motion video, which I thought was hilarious. Then he showed me, he was like, you want to see something even more awesome? I'm like, sure. And he showed me the first episode of Night/2020 stop motion that he made back in 2007, and my mind was just blown, because that series is amazing. Yeah, it was awesome. I watched that, and I was like, holy crap, this is so cool and everything. And, of course, Revenge of the Fallen came out. We got a bunch of figures. He got me addicted into those. He always says to this day, it's my revenge for you getting me into Ben 10 at the time. But the difference is he isn't really into Transformers that much anymore, and I still am. And, of course, Dark of the Moon came out last summer. I love that movie. I got a few of the figures. And, that's my story with Transformers and how I got into stop motion. It's all thanks to Night/2020. And, that's just my story. Make a video response or post how you got your addiction to Transformers in the comments section below. Yeah, guys, that's basically it. Working on my stop motion and everything, should be up sometime. Not gonna say a specific date because that would get people pissed off when it wasn't there. So, see ya. Bye.